Hello, my name is Adelina Ryan, and I am doing my speech today on 9/11 and how it has affected the U.S. And this is my audience because I obviously talk to you. These are my note cards, front, back. So to start with, I wanted to talk about imagine starting a normal day, like going to work, having a flight, or going to school, and within hours the world has changed completely. That is how 9/11 has affected our world and continued to be talked about today. On September 11, 2000, terrorist attack have killed nearly 3,000 or more people and has changed America. So, fun fact, I was born a week after. I was on the flight home in my mother's stomach, and I was born a week later. To connect to that, I'm saying that because many of us were either too young or not even born yet, and we were still talked about and shown that this event has drastically changed our U.S., how our military works, how our government works, how TSA has gone, and for our foreign policies, and that is what I'm going to talk about today. So I'm going to talk about what happened on 9/11. What happened was 4 commercial airplanes were hijacked by terrorists. So 2 of the planes were successful and crashed into the 2 Twin Towers, which was in New York City. And it was the World Trade Center, and it was collapsed, I believe, within the first 5 hours, and it has killed over 3,000 people of law enforcement, civilians. So there was 4 planes that were hijacked. Only one was not successful, and that was the one that crashed into Pennsylvania. So it was meant to target U.S. government and military, which they did successfully hit, which was the Pentagon. That was in Virginia. And the other one that didn't hit was Flight 93. So there was a fun fact about that there was a movie on that, and I thought it was very interesting. It's called Flight 93, and it shows how pretty much America can come together, and they fought back, even though they all lost their lives that day. It was meant to hit, I believe, another one in Pennsylvania, but they crashed in Pennsylvania in a field, and it stopped the further attacks, which nearly lost still 3,000 people that day. We all experienced grief, fear, changes, major life changes, obviously. To further explain the changes after 9/11 that happened that day, that were included were national security, which increased efforts to prevent future attacks, which created TSA, it created stricter airport security, which is more screenings, longer lines, and new travel rules. So as we go through a normal day, when we go on a flight, there is more steps now to take precaution of what happened that day, from when the attackers did successfully get on the plane. They were able to get past TSA, obviously, with guns and bombs, and that's why the 2 airplanes were able to get hijacked. The one from Pennsylvania was not able to because they were able to fight back, and which a lot of American citizens would never. They would, sit back and wait for stuff to happen, but they did, and they worked together, even though they sadly lost their lives that day. The other one was also government and intelligence agency worked together more closely since then. They also created privacy debates and foreign policies, which was very important. For the foreign policies, the U.S. began the war on terror, which military entered Afghanistan in 2001, and it changed everyone's role in how we viewed military and the government, in my opinion at least. I think around the world, every day has changed since then, which is more security in airports, which is very needed. Public places and events, how we have more first responders. I believe since that day, many officers and firefighters have more wanted to play a role in the US than I have ever known. Obviously, I wasn't born till after, but I know that still to this day, it will always be talked about like many other events that has changed any part of our world. So the importance of emergency preparations have also increased, which I believe that the lasting impact of our 9/11 event was between unity and courage. Americans came together after the attacks, which communities were helped, there were fundraisers, and it really has changed and helped the victims and the families. And I believe that anytime 9/11 does come around every year, it is still talked about. It is still heavily posted on social media, all over, Even though you don't know these people, you know that they all left an impact and you always remember them. That's why we have museums now. That is why we have our 9/11 memorial outside where the Twin Towers used to be. And every year you are seeing people still post and remember lives that we don't even know who they were to begin with. So I think it was increased in national unity. People supported each other and showed pride in America. And it is remembering our history. Creating memories, and even though they were devastating memories, they still have a good impact on how we see America differently today. The importance of all this and the lessons that I've learned were importance of preparedness, emergency response, cooperation, and compassion in each other. So in conclusion, today I have explained what has happened on 9/11, how it changed security, foreign policies, US policies, and how it continues to affect our society. Even if we don't remember, we live with its effects every single day. September 11th was a day of tragedy, but it was also showed the strength, courage, and unity of people coming together. The lives will never be forgotten, and I believe the lessons learned continue to shape America today.